Hello, this is Art House Cinema Lad. This is going to be my review of Christopher Nolan's 2026 film, The Odyssey, based on Homer's epic Greek poem, The Odyssey. But let's start with con. I would say that the con that I have is the title cards. This is a film that's based on Homer's Odyssey, and I feel that with that you have these characters just going around all these locations, and in the film there's no title cards, and maybe if there was some title cards it would make some of the transitions a bit smoother in my opinion. And let's carry on with the pros. One of my pros I would say is that the way that the film is shot, like for instance with Odysseus and his soldiers, there's this one sequence in the film that involves them running through, let's just say, the forest, and they're getting chased by something. Let's just say that. Well, there's actually two instances of that, and with the second instance, I would say that was really frightening, like horror film inspired, which I really appreciated. Like for instance, with the second sequence, Odysseus and his soldiers running throughout the forest from these beings, these frightening tall giants. It was a chaoticness to the scene that I really loved. I'm watching this in the cinema on the big screen. It's just, with the sound and the score, this panic and this worry, it was just done really well. I was like very anxious watching this scene in the cinema. For me personally, it's one of the most frightening scenes I've ever seen in cinema. Another pro would be the cast, obviously. I think this cast is terrific. Matt Damon was really good as the lead. He did a really good job of being the main character, the main hero. Because like Matt Damon has this certain likeness to him. He's kind of like an everyman type of actor. Then you have Anne Hathaway as Penelope, his wife. Now she doesn't get many scenes, I feel, compared to Matt, obviously, but the scenes that she does get, she's really good at the grieving bit and just expressing her frustration with being without her lover, like without her husband. And she does that really well, Anne Hathaway. You see the anguish in her voice, in her appearance. You have Robert Pattinson as, I would say, the main suitor of Penelope, which kind of would make him the main antagonist of the film. He was quite good as well. At first I was a bit, like watching it in theatre was a bit weird, because obviously like he's a villain and he's antagonistic. But like he plays it kind of like sneezily, but he has a sense of like, I'm better than you, and like, I'm so supreme, which I thought he did well, while still being a bit sleazy. Another one was Samantha Morton as Cersei. The stuff that she gets in the film was really powerful, actually. Even though she wasn't in the film that long, with what she was given, she did really, really well. She was really powerful in her scenes. Then you have John. I would be quite shocked if he doesn't get some nominations for next year. I think people are going to see him in this and go back to other roles that he's been in. I mean, there's other actors in this as well, obviously. You have Tom Holland, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, Elliot Page. I would say, like, overall, the performances was really good throughout the entire film. You also had Himesh Patel. He was a bit underrated in the film as well, in terms of performance. Other things I liked about the film, the score, obviously, was really good. Also, I liked the themes. With the Odyssey, it's kind of like the loss of time. You don't really get that time back. What you just have to do is kind of move forward with the time that you were given, the time that you have left. You have to make the best of it. And another theme that is recurring with Christopher Nolan's films is home. This one is quite obvious, and you have the main character trying to get home from war. And I really like this. I know there's been some complaints about the length of the film and the pacing, but I thought length and the pacing was done well, and given the theme of trying to get home, it makes sense with the time and the pacing of the film, because I believe it gives not only the character but also the viewers of the film kind of that same sense of this is being paid off, these arcs. You feel the time of the film, but not in a bad way. At least with me personally, I didn't feel it in a bad way, because I think with it being a long film it makes sense. Because you have this character, he's trying to get home, and obviously it's going to take him some time. But eventually, once he do, hopefully returns to the home, it's going to feel earned. New York relates to that aspect of wanting to go home, wanting to be with loved ones, wanting to be with family, wanting to be with friends, wanting to be with things that we are familiar with. And with this film, I think they did that actually quite well. I really enjoyed this film. To me, it's near a masterpiece. I think this will age really good. Like, this will become the definitive Odyssey. Because I know there's other versions that I'm going to eventually see. But I think this will become the definitive version of the Odyssey in terms of on screen. But yeah, this is a great film and I recommend it quite highly. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching and you have a lovely day.